Hello and welcome to Culture Shock, the pop culture podcast brought to you by four aging millennials and our outdated opinions. Today we're going to do something a little different. So welcome to our first two-man episode. Join Corey and I as we discuss a couple of sneak peeks DC bless us comic fans with this weekend. I hope you're as excited for them as we are. So Corey, Black Adam, what'd you think?
Dwayne Johnson's been trying to get this movie made for years, and when he first mentioned it, I don't know, right before Shazam came out, he had an interview where he talked about maybe being Black Adam. I've been championing him for it since then, and I'm so fucking glad he got it made.
In that little tidbit they gave us in that DC fandom trailer, the way he talked, I noticed a cadence to his voice that isn't normal. It was huskier almost, and he was more deliberate in the way he spoke. It was really, I've never really heard him like that before. I feel like he was in character for that trailer.
He was putting a little bit of Black Adam in his own speech on that, yes. You actually can see the way he even says Black Adam, he gets real dark and stares at the screen.
Yeah, there's a look in his face that I'm not used to seeing in The Rock.
He's usually the happiest guy on anywhere.
Or jokingly serious, in those in those movies about family, but and cars.
I'm not going to talk about those.
I know, never. I've only seen two of them anyway. Regardless, I don't know a ton about Shazam, to be honest, but I know that Black Adam is he's basically just evil Shazam, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, basically he's if they were in the Kingdom Hearts universe, he'd be the Black Heartless Shazam. But yeah, I don't really even know a whole ton about Shazam myself. I'm more, as anybody who knows me knows, or anybody who's listening will eventually know, I know a lot more about Marvel, a little less of a DC guy, so I pretty much know what the movies have told me, and I am actually of the minority that I loved the first Shazam, and I'm looking forward to the second one.
It was actually one of the, because if we're all being honest, the DC cinematic universe has been had its ups and downs, to say the least. I think Shazam was one of the few that stood out. The first Wonder Woman and Shazam were probably the two best.
Yes, in the DC universe, since it started with these characters, Wonder Woman.
I loved Man of Steel, but
Man of Steel
can see
is
why you wouldn't like it.
Well, I have many reasons I don't like.
Well, not necessarily just you, just people in general. I could see why people might not like it. I personally loved it, but
no, I think for as much as I don't like Superman, Man of Steel was great, and I've actually rewatched it a couple times, and I do enjoy it. It's just look.
I have my grievances, but I can look past it because the last good Superman movie was 70 years ago. Oh man. Yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot in the trailer. We just got a tidbit of what Black Adam can do when he dusted that guy into a skeleton that fast.
Oh man. Not only dusted the guy, but his full army SWAT armor and gun.
Caught the bullet.
He caught the bullet. He just evaporated the guy on the ground.
The suit looks great.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about the suit. I thought they were going to make it look a little too animated.
I mean, I think they did good with Shazam's, honestly.
They did.
Black Adam's is sleeker, though, if we're being real. Man, The Rock, he looks the part. I've seen enough of, the animated stuff to know about him. I've never read Shazam, though.
Me neither.
But he's basically Superman with magic powers. I'm sure I'm going to piss somebody off saying that, but I'm going to be realistic here. That's what he is.
Well, and you're a fan of Superman, so that's not really...
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
I love
willing
Superman.
to say that.
For anyone that wonders, that's not an insult. I think that's a compliment. But
I will insult Superman every day, all day. But
see, he's wrong. We're definitely going to touch on some things other than these trailers in this episode, because I can't just let that pass. Anyway, The Flash. We got actually quite a bit in the Flash one.
Yeah, there's a lot more to dig into on the Flash preview that we got. Even though Ezra Miller starts by saying we don't really have much to show you.
We don't got anything to show you except all this crazy shit.
It pretty much was a minute-long teaser.
I was able to recognize. You said, "Listen to this voice," and I was like, "That's Michael Keaton."
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh man,
they've been teasing him being in this universe for a year now, or
that
probably
fucking
longer.
That helmet looked dated and everything.
Oh yeah, when the cow walks into screen, the back of his head, the very obvious can't turn his head to that cowl. I was so excited. I got chills all the way down my body.
More or less, we watched these and then immediately talked about them. We didn't really dig into them too much and like look up anything. So this is just our initial thoughts. I noticed a second flash behind Ezra, and I didn't recognize the actor. It was so quick. Do you know who that was?
Actually, I did read into these a little bit, and if you
cool.
pay attention in that trailer, it's also Ezra Miller.
Oh shit, was it?
yeah, he plays both. And then on his other side, there was a girl. I don't know who that is. I haven't had enough time to look into that. But the other one is like a little girl Flash. I don't know who that is. But yeah, the one on his other side was a shorter haired Ezra Miller.
There's so many Flashes. There's so many speedsters, rather.
Oh yeah, the Speed Force is a very large team of.
I love Flash. I really do. Even though it's kind of every villain is just another guy that runs fast, but I think it's fun. It's not every villain, obviously, but I have no at first I thought that was gonna be Flashpoint, but then it
is Flashpoint.
So wait, so is it Thomas Wayne? Is that who Michael
I am hoping that's what it is.
Oh my god, they're teasing everything from the old movies. But
I think maybe that's why they didn't show the front of Michael Keaton Batman, because the Thomas Wayne Batman is a little different. He's got like red on his suit and red eyes, and he looks a little different.
He also shoots people in the fucking head.
He straight up kills motherfuckers. But I did just Google the picture of those three in that Flash trailer, and the girl is actually Supergirl. That's not another Flash. I didn't even realize that.
I'm not familiar with that suit.
No, me neither. But yeah, the other one is another Ezra Miller.
Yeah, it was the long hair that threw me out. Man, he just looks so different. He looked wildly different at the beginning. I wonder if those are going to be the only three, like only two speed versions of him.
I doubt they gave everything away in that teaser.
Oh, there's no way.
No, there's no way. There's definitely going to be more to it. I think that first character you see walking towards the house in a Flash suit, I think that's it might be a reverse Flash. It looked a little more yellow than red.
When it showed the ring that holds his suit, at first I thought that was reverse Flash, but then it suddenly flashed over to Ezra, and I was like, "Wait a minute, was I wrong?"
It still could
that was
be.
A tease. I'm not sure.
I know. All I know is that they're not telling us everything because they never do. They're definitely keeping something for the movie itself.
I know they said it's going to be in theaters next year, but I think it's going to get delayed.
It could.
He starts off by saying, "We don't have much to show you. We don't really have a trailer. We just have this little bit."
He even says we don't have a whole lot done.
Yeah, but it's going to be in theaters next year.
He did say the end of next year, so it's possible.
I mean, maybe.
DC does have a record for rushing things along.
For better or worse. For better
60-40 worse. I'm going to say.
So we have potential Thomas Wayne or not Thomas Wayne. Who knows? I think it's Thomas Wayne.
That's what I want.
How brilliant would it be for them to just pull Flashpoint and just reboot the fucking universe, since they know they colossally fucked up?
Dude, it actually would probably fix some stuff.
It would work. I kind of hope, because some of those movies went the wrong direction.
That's what X-Men did with Days of Future Past. They decided that the whole universe of X-Men movies was such a mess that they were...
Hello, Charles.
Yeah, they were going to do a whole go back to the future and change something, and it changed everything. Jean Grey was alive again. Cyclops wasn't dead.
I don't even care. I like that Dark Phoenix movie. It was so much better than the old trilogy. I don't even care. I love it. I loved it.
With the newer X-Men kids?
With Sophie Turner, yeah. I liked it.
It wasn't bad. I mean...
They made her super fucking OP like she's supposed to be. It was
certainly better than The Last Stand.
I watched that trilogy probably 15 times when I was younger because it was all we had.
It was only beaten by one movie, and that is X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is just such a mess.
I honestly think it was a better movie, even all the awful what they did to fucking Deadpool and everything.
You think that was better than Last Stand?
X3? Yeah, I think that movie was just what they did to Dark Phoenix. I will never forgive. It's more honestly to me. I like Phoenix more than I like. I'm just gonna say I cared more about them doing Dark Phoenix justice than Deadpool justice, and I know that's gonna be a unpopular take probably because everybody loves Deadpool now.
Well, I mean, I don't hate that movie just because they super fucked up Wade Wilson. I hate that movie because like the CGI claws in that movie are just
It's
like
so old,
a
though,
college. No, but the 3 movies before that, he had fine claws. They looked just fine. And then all of a sudden, go back and watch X-Men Origins Wolverine and watch the bathroom scene when he's in that that couple's bathroom in the country.
You know, it has been a long time since I watched that trilogy. Like, it is possible. I'm just remembering it more fondly than
when he's clinking his claws together to see the sparks come off of them. It's such bad CGI. I could do it on my iPhone right now. It's horrible.
I'm like afraid to go back. I'll probably just remember it being better than it is.
If you want to keep it as your movie over X3, I would just never watch it again.
Like we have a new set of X-Men movies that are just much better. I'll just watch them.
Oh, they fucked up Gambit so bad too. He was supposed to be such a cool character, and
he was always my favorite X-Men, as a kid and everything. I loved Gambit. Wasn't he supposed to get a movie?
Yes, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, and then it just never happened.
It's supposed to have happened for years. It's been on and off their list for years.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, especially now that they're like in Disney's hands. They're not going to bother.
Because right before COVID hit, they actually had a script in hand, Channing Tatum reading it. They were going, and then COVID hit, and then it just died
as recently as that?
Oh, yeah. He still posts stuff about being Gambit because they're still talking about it.
I can hope, I guess. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, but I'd love to see it. I would.
I would, too. I think Channing Tatum would do pretty good.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty damn good, I agree.
He's funny as hell.
Speaking of movies that production got shut down because of COVID, and we still are getting what's going to be, I think it's going to be the best Batman movie to date, just from this trailer that we got to see this weekend. The fucking Batman.
Oh, it's going to be so hard for anything to take the Dark Knight spot for me, but if there was a Batman movie that has the possibility, that trailer alone made me think it's actually possible.
I fucking love Batman. I collect comics. He is my absolute favorite fucking comic character. I love that. I love Batman. I love the lore. I love the stories. I've read so much of it. I've watched every fucking animated movie, even Ninja, which was horrible and looked awful.
So bad. I didn't like what was the one where he's back in London? He's like,
the
jolly old London one. Yeah, the Jack the Ripper one.
I can't honestly remember. There's so many of them.
I didn't really like that one either. But
I wasn't happy with what they did to the Killing Joke.
I hated what they did to the Killing Joke.
It should have been the best thing ever made.
Killing Joke was one of my favorite comic series from Batman, and I was so pissed.
It's objectively considered pretty much one of the best.
Yeah, it's definitely on most.
And we got
list.
Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to do their final fucking thing together.
It had absolutely no reason to be bad.
They cut so much out of the story. Though they did that with fucking Hush too. Well, yeah, they did that.
They did it with Hush. They cut a lot out of the Red Hood movie too.
So in this trailer, what stood out to you in the Batman trailer the most? You think? Because this is the one that we got the most content out of the 3 that we checked out.
What scene stuck out to me the most?
Yeah, let's start with that.
Well, I mean, the scene that stuck out to me the most, and the one I rewound, I'm like 1,000 years old. The one I went back and watched over and over and over again was the in the alley when they're shooting the gun at him, and it's lighting up him beating the shit out of all those guys. You
know what that reminded me of? The Darth Vader scene in fucking Rogue One. In Rogue One.
When he's going down the hallway.
Yeah, I was like, it just instantly, I was like, oh man.
It also super stood out to me that the Riddler, when they're watching him on that news, the TV's on the news station. It says serial killer something. I can't remember exactly what it says, serial killer something. And it's showing the Riddler kind of real close to the camera, slowly panning around his face. It kind of reminded me of the Joker in The Dark Knight when he's making his own videos, killing that Batman wannabe. I really enjoyed that because Dark Knight is my favorite Batman movie, maybe comic book movie, period. And
yeah, everybody knows the Riddler, but so many people don't know those people don't know the Riddler. Like he's
way more fucked up than
this. To me, like the Batman really looks like I've tried to avoid looking too much into it. I've watched the trailers and stuff, but I'd like to be surprised a little. But I was getting Hush vibes from it very strongly.
He's very much more Hush, even in the look, than he is the Riddler, because he has stuff wrapped around his face.
And if you recall the ending of Hush, it was when the Riddler was like, "Hey, don't forget, I'm a fucking genius."
Yeah, he literally did everything he did just to show Batman he could.
And he knew who he was and he knew everything, and he was just fucking with him. That was the whole point.
There's actually a theory out there that the way he wears that stuff on his head and the glasses, and the fact that he uses like these puzzles to fuck with the police, that they're taking a lot of inspiration from like the Zodiac Killer. He even kind of looks like a lot of pictures of the Zodiac Killer in the trailer. It's actually really cool when you really look into it. It's just a fan thing, but
hit me with it because I'm not that familiar.
Oh, just the Zodiac Killer wears the bag on his head. He has glasses.
Okay.
He sent cops like algorithms to fuck with them, and they only ever solved one of like the 6 he sent them. Like they were so convoluted and hard that they put it in the newspaper asking people around the area he was doing it if they could possibly solve it. The only reason they solved the one they did is because somebody called in and told them what it meant.
Wait, somebody else figured it out?
Somebody else figured it out from home. They put him in the paper asking anybody for help to solve these, because he was trying to give them clues to who he is, I think. But they still to this day haven't figured any of them out except the one.
That's crazy.
And now it's been so long, the guy's probably dead. And there's actually news stories out there that they think they figured out who he is, but he died like 5 years ago.
Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy.
And he did this in the 60s, so that means he lived another 70 years.
And he was probably like, man, now I'm just bored, huh?
Yeah.
Enough of this. That's crazy. Yeah, I know you're a big true crimes guy. So.
Oh, yeah. Zodiac's one of the most interesting ones because you don't know who he is. It's just, there's a lot of mystery around him. I never saw the Zodiac movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, but I think that's because I don't think it would do the story justice the way I'm a nut for this stuff. I think I'd probably be mad about it.
They fictionalize it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd probably get caught and everything because, the guy's got to lose in the movie.
I feel like you would. I don't know. I don't want to know.
I want to see the scene where he says, "I am vengeance."
I know, because there's two different, like, we saw a little more of it in this trailer, which was kind of nice, but...
he just beats the shit out of that guy. Like,
you saw the first trailer?
Yeah. I've seen all the trailers.
This
is going to be the most brutal Batman we've seen yet.
I read a little bit about it, and actually this is loosely based on Batman Year 2.
Okay.
Where he's a little more violent, because he doesn't know who he wants to be yet. And he's kind of...
Because in year 1 he struggles quite a bit and gets the shit kind of like breaks a lot of shit, fucks up a lot.
Yeah,
so I can see him being a little angry in year 2.
Not doing so good.
I haven't read year 2 yet,
so
I'll have to
apparently year 2 he's a little more of a detective, but he gets frustrated because he's still kind of young and new to this, so he's a little more violent than he probably should be to get information and stuff. But I guess it's loosely based around.
That is probably the thing I'm like, out of everything, the thing I'm probably most excited for with this Batman movie is the fact that they're finally letting him be the detective, not just the fucking guy that kicks the shit out of people. Because he was Detective Comics. That was Batman.
That's where
he was
from,
the world's greatest detective, and we never get that side of him. Even though
the only time we got that side of him was in the Arkham games.
My absolute favorite Batman comic is The Long Halloween.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's just pure detective. Like, a detective mystery, like beginning to end.
I still haven't even seen that part 1 and part 2.
You gotta read it. You gotta read it.
Yeah.
It's like if one needs to be read, it's that one. It's not everybody agrees. Like, it's not everybody's favorite, but I was instantly like infatuated with that story. It was so good. Do you know what it's about? I guess I don't want to spoil anything.
No, yeah, I know the basics of what it's about. Because I also read into it when those 2 movies were going to come out.
Okay.
So I know enough to go into it and enjoy it. But yeah, I could probably read it before I watched them, because I'm not in a big hurry to watch them, because I don't know a whole lot about that. So it's not eating me inside.
Like the last, because I watched like all the animated DC stuff. I haven't watched that one just yet, just because I haven't watched like anything in a while. I've just been preoccupied. But the last couple of animated DC things, they've cut weird things. Like the Killing Joke just didn't. I just don't know what they were thinking there. So I'm like afraid they're gonna fuck up my favorite story, Batman story, and I'm just kind of afraid to watch it, because if they fuck that up, I'm gonna be pissed.
I've been there. I've been too afraid to watch certain things. The What If series on Disney Plus that they're doing now, they did an episode on Marvel Zombies, which is one of my favorite anything. I fucking love Marvel Zombies.
I've never read it, but I know I know a lot about it.
It's so much fun.
Cool. Yeah. I like the What If line, like
yeah, lines. So do I. And they did a episode on the What If, a whole episode on the Marvel Zombies. I was afraid to watch it for weeks, and then I finally did, and it's passable, but there's definitely way more they need to be able to tell than in a 45-minute episode. It just bummed me out. There was so much more to tell.
I don't know why they just are afraid. Like, they're afraid to like give a couple episodes of these cooler stories, and they just try to condense it down, and it takes away. It just takes so much away from it.
Well, they're doing a season 2 of What If, so I hope maybe they tell a little more.
I guess the casual fan doesn't care about all the details and stuff, so it is what it is. It is what it is. We still have the comics, so it's not like it doesn't exist for us.
No, yeah.
It's just, it would have been cool to see in animation.
Yeah, that's when they announced it way back at that Disney Expo. I think it was last year or maybe the year before. They announced they were doing What If, and they were going to do a Marvel Zombies episode. I was super fucking excited, and then a couple months in, I was like, well, what if they fuck it up? Because it's like one of my favorite things.
Oh, this is going to be great. But what if it's not? I was actually, because I'll be honest, I didn't have the best impression of Robert Pattinson when around the time they first announced this movie, because it's been years now since this movie has been announced, and that he was going to be Batman.
Been a long time.
I was unfamiliar with I only knew him as the guy from Twilight and Cedric Diggory. That's all I knew him as, and I forgot he was Cedric, because that's just so forgettable. And I do not like Twilight, because I like vampires. So I did not like that series. And I just held it against him because it came out when I was an angry teenager. But I started looking. When he was announced as Batman, I was like, "This is gonna be awful." But like, I want it to be good. It was gonna be awful. No, I have to try to be positive. So I looked into stuff that he'd done and found out that no, he's actually done all this amazing stuff, and he's like a damn good actor.
Yes.
And I started to get like excited. I stopped thinking they're gonna ruin this.
He's done a lot of very emotional, like dramatic scenes in movies, and he pulls every one of them off. He's very good. Because I had the same thought when they first announced him. I wasn't angry because of the Twilight movies, because I honestly don't hate those movies.
He had no emotion in those movies.
He had no emotion in those movies.
That's why I was like, what, this guy that has there's nothing there, like he's gonna be Batman? Like,
which, don't get me wrong, according to the books, the Twilight books, he was supposed to have no emotion and not look like he felt anything. So really, if you really think about it, that was actually damn good acting. That first trailer, they didn't really give Colin Farrell much chance to show his Oswald Cobblepot. He didn't really get anything. I don't think he even spoke in the first trailer.
I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but they let him speak in this one, and he actually has a couple really good lines. And you know what? I really am digging his Penguin. I didn't think I would. Like, they said Colin Farrell as Penguin. I was like, are you shitting me? Like, why is he doesn't look anything like the Penguin? But the prosthetics they have on him are really good. He's very, very good.
I think this is gonna be a good movie. Like, they're taking it really seriously. They're not making it campy. It's gonna be fucking brutal Batman kicking the fucking shit out of things, doing some detective work.
And I hope they don't ever do anything stupid like eventually try to mix in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in these movies, because there's a lot of people. I
love that movie, but it should be a standalone thing that shouldn't be connected to the universe. Absolutely.
I honestly don't even want a sequel.
No, I feel like that would take away from it,
even though they already announced it and it is happening.
That's a shame.
I really, the way Joker ended, it was all in your head. Like, you get to choose. Did it actually happen?
I think that was the beauty of it. It was like, did those cop cars crash? Was any of this even real? Did he shoot that shot in the face? Was any of this fucking happening? Was he in the fucking asylum the whole time? Was he even in the asylum at the end? I don't know.
It's just so hard to tell.
It was,
but beautiful. I love that movie. It was a great fucking movie, and I think this one's going to be right on par with that. Like, when they announced they did the Joker movie, it was kind of a success, so they decided, well, what if we did like a Penguin movie along the same like vein? I feel like they want to do like multiple different villains movies. And then I'm just hoping they don't try to interact with Batman. I want those to be their own thing.
That's the beauty of like Batman, is his rogues gallery. They're just all so unique and deep characters. Like, there's no other than like, Calendar Man, but
and Condiments Man. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say this, but at this present moment, I'm hoping they make more than one of these Batman movies with Robert Pattinson. But I honestly don't want them to ever bring Joker into this series.
It's been done.
He's been done to death.
There's so many other great villains.
And there's so many great Jokers out there.
I love the Joker. Like,
yes,
he is my favorite.
He's my favorite villain.
Posters, like, everything. Like, he is my favorite. I don't know if anyone will ever live up to the animated Joker. He was just, like, too perfect. We've gotten a lot of great live action ones. I don't know if anyone could ever pull off the Mark Hamill version in live action.
Probably not.
I don't think fans would even accept it, even if it was objectively good. It's just, it's been like elevated to this just like godly status.
If there was anybody that could have maybe pulled off the Mark Hamill Joker in real life, it was a younger Jim Carrey. But he's like past that prime. I don't think he could pull it off now. But I think back in the day, Jim Carrey, like when he was the Riddler.
Jim Carrey might be more suited to be the Joker now than ever before, but
I just don't think he could hit. I mean, he has the energy still, but I don't think he could hit it right. I think he looks too old. I don't know. I just don't like it.
You do remember in Guardians 2 when they made what's-his-face look just like 20 years younger with CG?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want a whole movie like that.
Yeah, but why?
I don't think Jim Carrey could still do it. I love Jim Carrey, but I don't think he could still do it. If they had asked him to do it back when he was the Riddler, because when he was the Riddler in that movie, he was the Joker.
Yeah,
if they had just called him the Joker.
If that movie had just taken itself remotely seriously and made him the Joker and fired Tommy Lee Jones, it would have been so much. It could have been something.
They could have even still had Two-Face in there somewhere.
Just with somebody else.
Not Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, nah. He never needs to go near another comic movie as long as he lives.
He was pretty good in the first Captain America, but that's about it. But
that was a very small role. Yeah,
he just played.
He played an army guy. Perfect for him,
Exactly.
Is there like I haven't heard anything about like what their plans are for X-Men and stuff now.
Yeah, they're making a Fantastic Four movie. It's already announced.
Who? Sony?
Kevin Feige.
Oh, really?
Kevin Feige himself at Marvel's Disney's big expo last year, announced that the mutants will be in the MCU. He doesn't know if it's phase 4 or 5, but they will be making their entrance into the MCU, which in WandaVision, they're already kind of being introduced.
Oh, cool.
There's hints. There's just hints.
Yeah.
At the end of the expo, he announced all the movies they're going to make, blah, 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 blah. And at the very end of it, this black screen behind him just in blue just goes up and makes a 4. And he says, the Fantastic Four are coming to the MCU. Don't you worry.
Thank fucking Christ.
So Kevin Feige himself's going to oversee Fantastic Four, so I think that means they'll be good.
Does that mean we can finally just erase the existence of everyone before us?
Yeah, for the love of God, yes. And all I want in those movies, just bring Chris Evans in for one cameo where he, as Captain America, just stares at the Human Torch and just says something. I don't care what he says.
I want it to be like a guy in like a Captain America shirt just sit on the side of the street, not actually in Captain America, but and just be like, huh, you look familiar.
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Or like have the Human Torch signing autographs or something, make him kind of cocky like he is. Have him signing autographs with a Captain America t-shirt on, and Chris Evans is getting an autograph. He goes, I have that shirt.
Hey,
because that would be brilliant, because he's not only is he Captain America, but he also was Human Torch. So like that would be like a double.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be funny.
That would be.
I don't know if any series has been done dirtier than the Fantastic Four in live action.
Probably not.
Like, they are one of the oldest running 3 times.
Well, two series of movies.
Yeah, and they were all garbage. I actually went to see Rise of the Silver Surfer when I was like a teenager and fell asleep in the theater.
I made it through the movie, but it wasn't good.
It's just so bad. Everything, like, I don't know how you fuck all those up so many times in a row.
I don't know, because honestly, they had the workings for the right people. The people in the movie were great. Like, they had the workings for great movies.
They just made weird decisions.
The script was bad.
It's kind of like the Green Lantern movie. It was like...
Yeah, because Julian McMahon is a great actor, but they gave him Dr. Doom. What are you going to do with that? That's almost impossible to make everybody happy.
Yeah, Doom is a very... like, the Fantastic Four is one of the most popular like groups in Marvel. They're one of the longest running. They're one of the first. And Dr. Doom is one of the like most he's known villains in like the MCU, like in Marvel universe.
Anytime Marvel heroes are trying to do anything, they at some point ask Reed Richards what he would do. And then anytime the villains are doing anything, Dr. Doom sticks his head in and proves why he should be in charge of everything. So like the Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom both are in everything all the time.
Yeah, like everybody's like, Tony Stark's so smart. You don't know shit about Reed Richards, my friend.
Yeah. There's nobody smarter in the entire Marvel universe than...
except his son.
Except Franklin Richards.
Who's evil as fuck.
Who is better at everything than everybody.
Yeah. He's kind of broken.
Yeah, he's very broken at
they
this
fucked
point.
up a little bit there.
Yeah.
Well, Corey, we said we'd get off topic and start talking about things we weren't planning to, and you were right.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen. Every time we talk about anything we're passionate about, we're going to veer off into other things we're passionate about. It's extremely hard for me to not veer from DC Comics to talking a little bit about Marvel. I have to throw it in there. It's my bread and butter.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on anything else? I think you said you had a couple other DC things you wanted to mention that I hadn't seen. Just
the DC fandom also showed us a bunch of sneak peeks for other stuff too, and they showed us a little bit of behind the scenes of Aquaman 2, and I'm actually pretty excited for that too, because I like the first one, and they're bringing Black Manta back, I assume, as the villain again, which is very weird for comic book movies if that is the villain, to bring him back for a second one. They don't do that a whole lot.
I don't know enough about Aquaman to know his other villains past that, to be honest.
I don't know a whole lot either. I just know that Black Manta has always looked cool.
Yeah, he looks sick.
Even before I knew anything about Aquaman, I just liked the way he looked. And they actually did him justice in the first movie. It was pretty cool. Another thing that they showed on the lighter side of DC, in the Suicide Squad movie that they just made with
John Cena.
With had John Cena in it. His character, the Peacemaker, in that movie was actually one of the best parts of that movie. He was hilarious. And I was really actually stoked when I heard that they were doing a Peacemaker show because I love John Cena. I think he's funny in everything I've seen him in.
I guess I had the same opinion on The Rock. Anybody that comes from like WWF and stuff, I just assume is like kind of like 2-bit.
Yeah.
And I thought John Cena, like, he just seemed like such a jackass. But then I saw an interview with him on Jimmy Fallon, and he was fucking hilarious. Like, nothing like what I expected.
He's so funny.
He has like this just deadpan sense of humor.
Yes, he does.
And his delivery is on point.
We have a bad taste in our mouths for wrestlers becoming actors because of Hulk Hogan in the 90s, but it got much better with The Rock. He's a very good actor. I'm
still not even convinced the Dwayne Johnson we know today and the one from the wrestling days are the same guy, because he looks like he's 3 times the size and his head, it's so weird to me. He like looks nothing like he did back then.
He got bigger getting older than getting smaller.
Just and not just bigger, like massively bigger.
And he didn't, like, back in the old wrestling days, he was a big dude, obviously, but he didn't look like a giant. Now he looks like a giant. He was
like a normal sized guy in the wrestling days.
Yeah, like he even grew 6 inches taller.
Now he's like the Hulk. Yeah, like that's what I mean. He's taller, bigger, has no neck. Like, it's like, what the fuck happened?
I don't know what he did, but he did it right.
And he's hilarious suddenly. Like, maybe he always was. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he just had that personality of being the asshole back then, so he went with it.
But then John Cena was now you see me, now you don't. I was like, that's the dumbest fucking thing.
He was such an arrogant prick with backwards hats and jean shorts. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever like John Cena either. He was
the bro. It was like, oh my god, why? And yet he's fucking hilarious. Anything else you any last thoughts?
No, that was pretty much all the stuff I wanted to talk about from the fandom thing.
Yeah, I know we have to, we're going to have to do a Marvel episode soon. Should we do 23 of them for each movie, or one giant 23-hour long special?
I think 1 or 2 of the people on this podcast are going to lose interest if we do 23 movies about each Marvel movie.
Adrian, anyway.
He's definitely the biggest.
Well, my final takeaway is Black Adam and the Flash look like they could be neat, but I am fucking excited for the motherfucking Batman.
That is definitely the top dog from the fandom. Even though as much as I love the Michael Keaton Batman, seeing the back of his head in that Flash teaser.
It was exciting.
It was very exciting. It gave me chills. And then right at the end when he's about to uncover the Batmobile and then it goes black. I was so mad.
That was such a cock block.
I was so mad. But yeah.
I thought there was something wrong with my screen. I was like looking and trying to adjust. Like, is the lighting fucked up? Like, where is it? It killed me. But
the Batman is by far what I'm most excited for.
I'm ready. I need some vengeance in my life.
I can't wait. I can't wait just to see that scene.
I know.
I just got to see it.
All right. That does it for us. That's going to bring us to the end of the show, guys. Thanks for sharing your time with us again this week. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the show and join us next time. From all of us at Culture Shock, thanks for listening.